Hello, I'm Drew Zaitsoff. I work at Counseling and Psychological Services as a staff therapist. The topic I've got for you today is advice for important conversations. A lot of the time, the discussion around your work is pretty straightforward. You have some questions, someone else has some answers, everyone moves on with their lives. Great. However, even the most straightforward situations have context or complications involved, and that calls for the use of some soft skills. At CAPS, a common theme we've noticed in the troubles students are having is unclear communication, or communication that doesn't happen at all. Poor or indirect communication happens when a student hints at what they want rather than saying it directly, or makes suggestions about something they really actually need. Hints are easy to miss, suggestions can be disregarded. I've seen this result in students not getting the resources they need to conduct their research, which essentially stalls out their progress. I also think this can come from a recognition of the difference in power between the student and the person they're talking to. I've heard the theme that a person feels lucky just to have been accepted and doesn't want to risk asking for anything more, even when what they're asking for really is necessary for them to make progress. I've also talked with students whose advisors were incredibly slow to respond to really important emails or requests, and then the student didn't talk to their advisor about that problem. So, two different sorts of communication issues. Usually, what happens is that the student finds a way to make it work by trying harder or researching, trying to independently learn on their own. And that works for a while, but it's an added stress. And the closer you get to major deadlines, the worse the consequences of communication failures get. Nobody wants to be in a situation where you need a letter of recommendation for a job and you just don't hear back from your advisor. Self-reliance is great, but part of grad school involves situations where you need someone else's help, and the short-term benefits of going with the flow are less useful than the long-term benefits of getting what you actually need. There's a few ideas for how to make your communications go better. Nothing can guarantee that it'll go the way you want, but you can make the desired outcome more probable. The main ideas are to be proactive, to be clear about the facts, speak with the other person in real time, and know how much compromise you can accept. For being proactive, what we do to solve problems tends to be a lot easier than what we have to do to solve crises. Ideally, we've got someone looking out for us, someone who is anticipating upcoming problems on our behalf. Realistically, if you've got a problem, it's going to be on you to point it out and to seek out the help to get the solution. For being clear about the facts, it is folly to assume that the person you're talking to has the same information that you do. And if they do, they may not be interpreting that information in the same way. What you're doing is setting up an argument. This is what the situation is, this is why it is important, and this is what will happen if the situation is not resolved appropriately. For communicating in real time, I've seen a lot of problems crop up from trying to send messages back and forth through email, Slack, or by texting. These are all fine ways of communicating, but you lose a lot of information about what's going on when you don't see how the other person is reacting. Did your advisor not respond to your email because he couldn't see it, because he didn't think it was important, or because your request was just so outrageous he couldn't be bothered? Whenever possible, try to have your conversations in person, by phone, or through a video program. And for compromise, the reality is that you may not get what you're looking for. Have a sense for yourself of what you absolutely need in order to progress versus what you would prefer to have. All of these suggestions and more are summarized on CAPS's website. You can find that by plugging Purdue CAPS How to Talk to Professors into the search engine of your choice. Remember, problems that are ignored still exist and usually get harder to deal with down the line. If you've got a situation that you don't quite know how to handle, give CAPS a call. A lot of the time, figuring out what the right next move is takes talking to someone who isn't mired in the assumptions of your department. Someone who can help you to recognize and pursue what's important to you. If you'd like to make an appointment at CAPS, call 765-494-6995 to make an initial brief screening. This 20-minute phone appointment will identify what services best fit your situation and get you connected. Take care.